Nanitor is an enterprise CTEM. Now, if you're not familiar with what CTEM is, it's a continuous threat exposure management solution. Now, the reason this is important is because so many organizations struggle with their current security stack of tools. They have too many tools, the tools aren't integrated, there's no synergy between the tools. So if you have prioritization or risk scoring, they're not related to one another, so you don't know how they interrelate. And to be honest, all the tools produce so many issues. There's too many things to fix and you never know where to begin. So many organizations don't know what to do. That's exactly where Nanitor comes in. Nanitor solves all of these issues by combining two essential pillars in the enterprise security environment. Those two pillars are assets and issues. Now think about it, right? You have your assets, and each of those assets are going to have issues. And what you need to know is which asset has the highest priority and the highest priority issues. Those are the things that we need to fix. We need to fix what the attackers can actually leverage to get into our environment and move laterally. That's where the diamond comes in, and that's where Nanitor really flexes its power. Now you can see here that I have a multitude of issues on high priority assets, right? So this is a level 10 for asset priority, and this is a level 10 for issue priority, and that gets us to the tip of the diamond. If I select this, I'm going to see the full list of issues that I have that are at the highest priority for the asset and the issue. Now, this particular view allows me to now go in and focus on the different things that I may need to fix today, right? Because let's be honest, when you're dealing with an SMB or mid-market, when you come into work, what you want to do is focus on the things that are going to make the biggest difference in your overall risk scoring. So let's say, for example, that we're going to come in today and we're going to focus on vulnerabilities. We want to focus on the vulnerabilities on the highest asset priority and the highest issue. So these are vulnerabilities with a 10. So I apply that and boom, I have one. Now, I have one vulnerability, but it's actually on two different assets. So this allows me to see, all right, what do I need to fix and where? You can also create even more, complicated type searches, which allow you to see now a broader view of what you want to fix. So let's say that I want to look at misconfigurations and vulnerabilities on the assets that have at least a 9 priority and have at least a 9 issue. So this is going to give us a wider net per se. When I apply this, I see that I have multiple assets that I need to go and fix. So allowing this view of high priority assets and issues together, now I can focus on what is truly the biggest exposure. And all of this is done automatically in the background. So the priority is set for the asset, the priority is set for the issue, and it's merged together automatically. So you as the administrator or the security professional, you don't have to do anything. Nanitor is discovering the asset for you and then triaging it and putting it into the view. So now you can see exactly what you want to focus on. Now, if we go back to the diamond, you really don't need to leave this view unless you want to look at the details. For example, what I could do here is I could actually look for vulnerabilities at this level and see what I need to focus on. So you'll see that I have some P0, some priority 0. This is the highest level priority. And you can see these are in the 90s. And then I also have some down here in the P1, P2. We all know we can't fix everything. So what Nanitor does is it allows you to view what you need to truly fix now. You can also go in and you can look at a variety of different things inside of the vulnerability. So let's click on our highest prioritized vulnerability here. Now, when we look at this, we're going to be able to look at the overview. Obviously, the overview is just what it says. It's an overview of all the different aspects. But the details are important here when it comes to vulnerabilities. You'll notice here that our CVSS score is pretty high. It's a 9.8. But also, we give you information about the exploit prediction scoring system, right? This is the probability that it's going to be exploited in the next 30 days in the wild. And this is a pretty high one, which is why this is so important for us to know these details and be able to know exactly what to do to fix this. So here in the overview, it actually gives us guidance on how to fix it. So from the diamond, you're able to quickly get to the issues on the assets that have the highest priority, so you know exactly what you need to fix and you need to deal with them. Now, if we go to a different view, which is our issue list, this is a full list of all the issues that we have that we need to deal with. Now, keep in mind that Nanitor focuses on assets and their issues. So what are the different issue types? Well, there's misconfigurations and vulnerabilities, which are probably the top two issues that attackers go after. But they also go after unpatched systems. They may go after software that has vulnerabilities and misconfigurations. They're definitely going to look for the PII information. And they're going to worry about users and identities as well as device issues. So this is at the core of what we're focusing on here. And all of these issues are per asset, and it's part of the overall prioritization that Nanitor deals with. So what does this allow you to do? Well, this allows you to go in and actually find the assets that have the biggest issues. So now you can focus on fixing those immediately. This is where the traditional tool set doesn't give you the holistic view, but Nanitor does. So let's go in and let's look for some issues, right? So let's say that I want to go in and I want to look for my Windows servers that have, let's say, vulnerabilities, which are critical, okay? So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to look at the severity of critical and high for vulnerabilities on my servers. And boom, I have those particular assets now. So with a couple of clicks, you can now create tasks for yourself to go after certain areas that are important for your organization. And all of the information is here, as well as it tells you how to fix the particular issues. Now, if I want to still deal with my Windows servers, but let's get rid of the vulnerability issue, I want to deal with user issues on my Windows servers. Well, now I can go in and look at that. I can see the accounts that have the particular issues. Of course, we want to deal with identity because identity is a key factor in what attackers go after in the environment. Now, if I want to take a totally different approach, and let's say that I want to now focus on cloud environments and I want to deal with patching. Well, this is going to give me a view into what I need to deal with in the cloud. Again, all of the issues are related and organized per the asset that you're wanting to deal with. Now, we've left out misconfigurations, but let's say that I want to deal with my Windows 10 computers, which this would be my endpoints, and I want to deal with misconfigurations on my Windows 10 machines, right? I get a view of that. So I can isolate the different types of assets and all of their issues, or just a particular type of issue that they have. This really allows us to hunt for things that need to be fixed. And remember, all of this is based on the asset view. Because if you don't know all of your assets, it's going to be impossible to actually fix them. So this asset view allows you to see everything on your network in one view. Nanitor automatically discovers them, automatically labels them, and automatically prioritizes them, pulling out the issues and analyzing the issues. So you'll see over here that I can organize my issues from the largest number of issues on an asset and down through the structure. Now, being able to do this, now I can go into this particular asset and I can see the overall view of this asset. Now remember, Nanitor is looking at all of the different issues. You can see those listed here. And it's giving a scoring of each of those issues for this specific asset. So I can see a global view and I can see individual asset views, allowing me to see what's going on. And this is that summary view. But I can also look at the issues for this particular asset. And just like we've seen before, when I click on the issue, it's going to send me into the details of how I can remediate that particular issue. I can also go in and look specifically at different parts of this asset to see what I should fix. So if I want to look at misconfigurations, I can do that. If I want to look at software issues, I can do that. So this allows me per asset to drill down into the asset to take advantage of the highest priority issues for that asset. Now, of course, the Nanitor Diamond does that for you, but if you want to drill down into the details, this is how you do that, and this is what you can actually do with Nanitor. Now, another great view within Nanitor is your health status. So you can see here, this is the organization's health status based on the issue type. Now, another great piece of what you may want to do on a day in and day out basis is for the organization, let's go after the most impactful issues. So here you can see that this one is a software related issue, but it's going to improve my software health and my overall organization health by these amounts if I fix this particular issue. So this is giving us that awesome view for the enterprise on what can we do to have the biggest impact. Remember, you can't fix everything. And you don't want to fix things that really don't get you bang for the buck in overall risk reduction. That's why this particular platform gets you that view. Now, if you want to target a particular area within the organization, that's where you can come in and say, all right, I only want to focus on my critical servers. Now watch what happens. If I'm just looking at critical servers, all of my scoring changes because now it's a totally different view. And now it's a totally different item in which I can actually have the biggest impact. So allowing yourself the flexibility to drill down into certain asset types, certain issues, now gives you the ability to focus on what is most important. Not only what is most important, but most exploitable. And now you can see, gosh, if I fix XYZ, it's going to give me the biggest impact and give me the biggest bang for the buck in the environment. So that is what Nanitor is going to provide for you. It is going to combine your assets and their priority, right? The most important assets with the issues related to that asset and which issues can actually be leveraged the most by the attacker. If you can fix those, now your overall risk score is going to reduce because you are not as susceptible to an attack because you have fixed the most important issues on the most important assets.